Good evening, everyone. Let some people in. Hey guys, how are we doing? We are, damn, the spaceship hit turbo, man. We are like, hey, we are free falling and leveling up at the same time. And as usual, my light is super fucking bright. I swear to God, I don't know if it's just the ones that I get or what, because everybody else seems to be fine, but I don't know. Whatever. I'm not going to touch it. Yeah, we are free falling and leveling up at the same time because we have a ton of energy at the freaking North Node, you guys. Like crazy. In fact, one of the things I want to do or try to do in this live is screen share. Actually, maybe I'll do that right now before too many other. Or let's see if this will work. One sec, because if I can make this work, it's going to be a lot more interesting than just staring at me. Okay, share. No. Screen share. Oh my God. Am I going to be able to do it? You guys, I think it's going to let me. Okay, let me make sure I don't have anything embarrassing on my screen first. You never know, you know? You never fucking know. Yeah, probably don't want to have my email up. That's not good. Okay. Share. Can you guys see it? Can you see my screen? What's going on? Pop out dashboard. That doesn't make any sense. I'm disenchanted. I'm not seeing what I want to see. Okay, let's try one more time. And if it doesn't, we're just going to move on. Window. Choose what to share with Studio YouTube. The site will be able to see the contents of your screen. Window. Share. What the hell is that? Oh, that's really confusing. I don't like that at all. Stop sharing. Okay, we're not going to do that. We're going to try entire screen one more time. Share. Okay, that's terrifying. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm seeing, but it's like me repeating on and on forever. This is some crazy Pisces North Node shit right there. I'm pretty sure that is the North Node like portal. If you can't see it, this just sounds really ridiculous, but okay, we're just going to stop sharing. Okay. Anyways, hi everybody. Today has been a fucking trip. It has been exactly like that, actually. And so I wanted to pop on here and talk about what we're feeling because, yeah, it is profound. These energies are really profound. All jokes aside, there really hasn't been anything like this since I've been an astrologer. There's been other really crazy things, but this is definitely its own journey, right? And I know that we are all feeling it. And I'm in a good mood and I'm feeling lighthearted because I totally had like a really intense week. And then I kind of hit a breakthrough moment today. Maybe some of you did. Actually, we woke up this morning with the moon transiting in Taurus conjunct Uranus and was actually making a sextile to the North Node. So that is a lot of words. That basically means there may have been a shift today that may have allowed you to see processes that you're going through in a different way. I definitely felt that. The interesting thing about a sextile, though, is that you really have to work with it. It doesn't come to you for free. It's not like a trine, which is where things just happen, things are flowing, and they just kind of fall in your lap. A sextile is like, no, you got to work for it, and you have to actually kind of get in there and move the energies consciously. And it's kind of an interesting metaphor because one of my breakthroughs, I had a few breakthroughs today. One of them happened on the acupuncture table, which is one of my favorite places to have breakthroughs. And that's kind of what I do with the needles when they're in as well. I know I tend to ask my acupuncturist the meridian points and what organs, and then I go into my chart with the astrology and I'm moving the energy through the emotional body at the same time. And so it's kind of like a sextile. You know, I could just lay there and let the needles do what they do, and I do that sometimes if I'm exhausted and not in the mood to do psychic energy work on myself. But today I was feeling energized, so I did. And I had just like a full-on freaking crown chakra, like totally sober psychedelic breakthrough on the table, which is kind of par for the course with these energies. And sometimes that looks like a breakdown, you know, and then we can have that breakthrough after. But I know without a doubt, even though we're all on our own separate journeys and everybody's doing their own thing right now, and this is impacting everyone's chart differently, I know that the common themes we're seeing for everyone is breakdown and breakthrough, surrender. We've been talking a lot about surrender here and on the membership. I seemingly never stop talking about it these days, but hey, that's just kind of like the time that we're in. And we're in a time of upgrades, but they are upgrades that are not comfortable because we're dealing with a lot of North Node energy. And North Node energy, I know that people talk about it as the destiny point and being about the future. I'm sorry, I really don't like the color of this light. I'm being very like, my moon is in the 6th house, and sometimes I'm just like, no, I can't with this. Let's try something warmer so I don't feel like I'm on a fucking operating table. How about that? Sorry. There we go. Is that better? No, that's just that's just freaking blue. I think I like that. I think I like that better. Anyways, I feel like I'm in the sun or something. Anyways, okay. So even though we talk about the North Node as being destiny, and it's the future, it's also a huge challenge because it represents something that the soul does not yet know how to do. And it's something that the soul resists. And one of the many things I want to talk about today is that with the North Node in Pisces, this is very much an ego death because Pisces is the dissolving into everything. Because Pisces is the spirit world where we go back to source and we abandon our individual egos with our individual identities, and we come back into unity with one another and everything, right? And that sounds beautiful, and it is. And each one of us will experience that again when we transition out of this form. But the process for the ego is terrifying. And I wanted to share a vulnerable yet relative story about that, about an ego death experience that I had. As I prepare to sit in ayahuasca, I'm going to be sitting in a few weeks here. And it will be the first time I've sat with that particular medicine in a very long time. And I really need to find out when the first time was. I think it was 2010 that I sat. The first and only time, actually, that I sat. I think it was in 2010, maybe 2011. And I wanted to share a story about that experience because it was my first ego death. I've had two. And it's a phrase that gets thrown around a lot in spiritual psychology and whatnot. And back in 2010, I was just starting on my spiritual journey. I was just in the fast track. I was like, I had this awakening and I was just like, oh my God, I couldn't get enough. I was just reading every book on spirituality I could get my hands on. I was diving into astrology. Astrology was always ever present in my life. I was, on my little cosmonaut journey, beginning with psychedelic experimentation, which healed me of so many things that I was struggling with at the time. And I wanted to do ayahuasca. I was like, I'd heard about it. I'd watched documentaries about it. And I was like, I'm going to do it. And I was so excited. And I honestly went into it a little cocky. I will say it. I did not have the fear that I should have had. I think that ayahuasca is one of those things, like they call her the grandmother for a reason, that you need to go into with a humble amount of respect. And I was a young whippersnapper and I didn't have that at the time, believe it or not. I did not. I'm not going to go into how I ended up at the ceremony or where it was or any of that, but let's just say the ceremony was not a super traditional setting and there was not a whole lot of preparation for the setting. So I want to like lay that on the table as part of what happened, because I think that it had a lot to do with it. Anyhow, so in the ceremony, we were asked to share our intention. Somebody's asking if it was a group experience. This was actually only with 3 other people and the person facilitating, which is one of the things that made it very untraditional. So anyway, it was me, my partner at the time, and a friend that I had brought, and this was in Mexico. And so at the beginning of the ceremony, we were asked to share our intention. And I had been, I was super deep in my spiritual study of books, and I don't know what the hell I was reading at the time. I think I was reading like Eckhart Tolle and Joe Dispenza and the Four Agreements and like all of those kind of like starter books that are like great foundational, really important books that like I still have and think are great, right? And I had heard all about this ego death and I wanted one. Why? Because I didn't understand what it was. That's why. It's so cringe, you guys. I said this was like a vulnerable story because it is. So I walk into this freaking thing, and when they ask what my intention is, compassion. I say out loud that I want an ego death. And the shaman, bless her heart, smiles and kind of chuckles. And now I completely understand why. And I'm just like, I can't believe I fucking said that. Like, how mortifying. But you know what? That's where I was. Okay. And she laughs and I'm like, why are you laughing? And she's like, well, that's what you're going to get, and I was kind of like, well, did I say something wrong? Like, I didn't know what was going on. And I just thought I was going for the, the top of the mountain, and overachiever over here, I guess. And, I didn't know why she was laughing, but I did by the end of the ceremony. I knew why she was laughing. So I had an ego death. And like I said, I've had 2. And let me say, this is not an experience anybody would ask for, like at all. And in fact, later when I ended up going to Australia and studying a bit more in the ceremonial space and doing like kind of a semi-unofficial or sort of official apprenticeship with someone to serve a different medicine in the ceremonial space, that shamanic practitioner that I was working with said something that really stuck with me. And he said, you will know it's an ego death because the person will actually think they're dying. It doesn't matter how many times they've had ego deaths. They will actually think they are dying while it is happening. And that is an ego death. Of course, you're not dying. Your ego is dying. But there's no separation because the you that has your name and your occupation and your body and all that stuff is your ego, right? So anyway, back to the ceremony. Ayahuasca kicked my fucking ass, dude. Like, holy shit. Trust it was gnarly if it's taken me this long to do it again, right? I'm doing it again in 2 weeks. Jesus Christ. Here we go. So anyway, I don't know if people care. I'll talk a little bit about the ceremony. The first 30 minutes were incredible. I really truly believe that she gave me those first 30 minutes so that I would do it again. Uh, because the rest was absolutely terrifying. What was terrifying about it is what relates to what we are all going through. So I'm gonna loop it back. I have a point. I actually have not, believe it or not, consciously really gone back to that experience in my mind for a very, very, very long time, and I'm going to, so that I can kind of touch it. What I remember is I remember the first 30 minutes being some of the most beautiful visions, some of them which were prophetic visions of things that happened to me later in life, but I wouldn't know that for about 10 years. I saw images of what ended up being an experience I had in Bali many years later, more than 10 years later. Beautiful visions, some of them very classic ayahuasca, the snakes and the sort of jungle essence, the jaguar. Then I had my first purge, which I remember purging into the bucket, and it was just these coiled snakes. It was crazy. Never forget that. And then then it was like she just beat the shit out of me. I mean, like literally, I was resisting, or my ego was resisting. That was the problem. So for those that don't know what an ego death is, it's where it's exactly what's happening to all of us right now on a kind of like a microcosmic level. It's where everything that the ego tries to cling to for control is dissolves. And the consciousness, what is actually happening is it's expanding and it's becoming everything. But that's what happens when you die. So the ego that is you is terrified. Literally, you can't be more scared. It's impossible. It's clinging for life, right? And I was having an ego death. So I thought, oh, something's wrong. There was, I thought there's something wrong with the batch of Iowa. Like I'm dying and they don't know, So I'm telling the shaman, no, you don't understand. Like I'm actually dying. And of course she's probably seen this a million times. So she was just like, no, you need to lay down. Like, so she kept telling me to surrender. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like I'm in Mexico. Like what, like my parents aren't going to know where, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm like totally losing it. And the visions are getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And I wish I remembered more. It was very, very chaotic. What I do know is that I was shown a vision of my dad holding me when I was a child. I remember that very vividly. And I remember having the realization that me and my father are actually the same thing, which I understand now from like a different standpoint and what that meant. But in that moment, my ego didn't want my father to be different from me. I didn't want my father to be the same as me. Wanted my father to be my father and me to be me, because that's the reality we're in. And the ripping apart of that and the realization that it's all you, because it's all reflections of the same thing, is really disorienting, and it's disorienting to say the least. It feels like death. And on the other side of that is samadhi and bliss and oneness and everything. But when you're struggling against it, which I fought like fucking hell. I have a strong survival instinct, you guys. I'm an Aries rising. You can't take me down fucking easily, dude. Like I've proven that time and time again. Like every like fucking doctor that's put me under anesthesia, and they're like, you don't go down without a fight, dude. Like you're just like, I'm not okay with it, but in those spaces I fucking suffer, because, and it's why I love psychedelic work, because it forces me again and again and again to just learn to let go, learn to let go, learn to let go. And anyways, back to everyone and how we can all relate to this. The North Node Pisces is forcing each one of us to surrender in that way, meaning it's probably something that we don't want to surrender. And that could be the idea of a relationship with someone. We're going to talk about relationships, so stay tuned if you're going through it there, because it's fucking Venus retrograde at the North Node. So I know a lot of y'all are. It could be the idea of a relationship. It could be a vision that you had of your life that is rapidly changing. It could be a struggle you've had for a long time that you are losing your grasp of and needing to just say, okay, it is what it is. It is what it is. And that is the really profound thing about Pisces, is that it is the divine plan, and how perfectly, intricately the chaos all links together in a way that you can't force against. It's just what happens. It's very much how love works, actually. We can get so angry at someone, for example, for leaving us. But if you really, when we get out of our pain body and we get out of that like moment of trigger or trauma, at the end of the day, if someone doesn't want to be with you, they're not your person. It is what it is, right? And we can put that on any situation of like, if it's for you, it will be for you. And there's nothing anybody can do about that. It can't be taken from you. No one can really steal anything, actually, at the end of the day, because truth always comes back around. So this is a real moment of surrendering to the truth of what is your path versus what the mind wants it to be, if that makes sense. And if you're able to do that, which will probably happen for a lot of you between now and next week, we'll talk about it, you may experience the bliss of a higher realization, because Pisces is the crown chakra. It's freaking, it is those type of spiritual breakthroughs, Neptunian, Uranian downloads and breakthroughs, or extreme releases through tears and laughter, and or the highest octave of Pisces is unconditional love that has no borders and crosses all timelines. People, when they ask me about mediumship and how I, communicate with those that have crossed over, the answer is always the same. I literally can't unless I am in a space of unconditional love. And I mean, like, really high chakra unconditional love, like the love I had for my dog, like that type of just like pure high frequency, undying love that will never, ever, 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 ever go away. That is when communication happens for me. And it's honestly rare. It's not something that at least I can at this point just like turn on. Like, power to those people that can or claim to be able to do that. I can't. It happens in spaces like that. And totally just lost my train of thought because I looked at the chat. I love the chat and I love you guys, but it's like I can't do both at the same time. It's annoying. Okay, let me just see how people are feeling in here. This stream is going smoother, sort of. I don't know. I'm always kind of a shit show. I don't know what. They probably would go a lot smoother if I would take like at least 5 minutes to prepare my desk before I go live, but I don't, because I think because I get nervous if I think about it too much. So I'm just like, oh, I feel like I'm just doing it. I'm just going. There's shit, like I'm just like, yeah. Maybe one day I'll figure that out. Oh, okay. So Venus at the North Node. So a lot of this has to do with relationships right now. Relationships with our counterparts, our lovers, our friends, our undefined connections that don't have a label, family. Venus is love. We know this, right? And the North Node is in Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. A lot of people don't know that. Venus is earthbound love. Neptune is celestial love. It's unbound by earth and earthly concepts and regulations. So one way we could describe Neptune might be Christ consciousness. People are usually familiar with that term. Venus would be more like the Two of Cups card, the Lovers card, two humans having a love experience. Humans can have Neptunian love, but they have to be in higher states of consciousness in order for that to happen. Otherwise, truthfully, most relationships on earth are quite transactional and conditional by nature. And I'll die on that hill. It is what it is. Fight me on it. It's how we were programmed. Relationships are often sought for what we get out of them versus true unconditional love. It's unfortunate. Luckily, I think we're moving out of that space. And that's a patriarchal paradigm that, just along with everything else needs to be flushed down the toilet. So with Venus at the North Node being an upgrade, North Node being evolutionary growth, North Node being challenge, it means we are all being challenged to grow and evolve in the way that we approach love, but in a Piscean way, which means, and this is going to manifest differently for all of you based on where you are in your journey and where you are in your level of consciousness and lifetimes lived and all of that stuff. But it will be Piscean, which means we are trying to achieve higher states of unconditional love, which means seeing compassionately what unifies all of us, and expanding our hearts. Sometimes in order for a heart to expand, it has to break. And there's an interesting sort of vibe of that happening as well right now. I think as people surrender can sometimes come with a feeling of loss, a feeling of loss of what you thought you were going to have. And then you might be in that liminal limbo space before you get the new thing or like the new reality. You sort of have to let go of the old one. But yeah, we're really being tested to expand in the heart space. And in order for that to happen, a very interesting thing has to take place. If we are being challenged into unity consciousness, by polarity, we have to face everything that represents separation. Everything. So you may be experiencing in your reality the two polarities. You might be experiencing everything that represents separation, which could be things like, but not limited to, resentment, jealousy, abandonment, what are other big separation? Judgment. So that could be like one reality. And then on the other side, we have the more unifying states of consciousness, right? Compassion, forgiveness, understanding, abundance consciousness, right? When we're in a feeling of abundance, and I'm not just talking about money, I'm talking about back to that concept that what is for you can never be taken. When we live in that space, we're not worried about anybody taking anything. We're not worried about not having enough. We're not worried about, oh God, what if I, don't get the job? It's just like, oh, well, if the job's for me, I'm going to get it. And, then I'm not worried about what this person is, if they're more qualified than me or whatever, you know what I mean? So abundance mindset is more just like, what is for me, I will have, and it will come. And, I'm going to just follow my path, and yeah, I'm curious. I'd love to know how people are feeling this energy. And then I'll talk a little bit more about the Venus retrograde. How are you guys feeling in there? Somebody's wondering if the Neptune transit in Aries is significant on an individual level for most people. It's significant for all of us, but if you have anything between 0 and 5 degrees of the cardinal signs, that's Aries, Libra, Cancer, or Capricorn, you're going to feel it with those planets a lot more, and that's definitely something to pay attention to. I run a mystery school, you guys. It's on my website, coyotestarastrology.com. And we go into that kind of stuff at the bi-monthly mystery school meetings. I do them twice a month, usually around the new and full moon. Actually, you guys, holy shit. We have the funnest. Okay, I got to drop this really quick. I'm so excited. So we have a crazy ass full moon coming, guys. Next week, I think it's April 3rd. It's April 12th. There's a full moon in Libra. I so wish I could show this to you, but my screen share didn't work. Full moon in Libra, sun in Libra. No. Sun in Aries, opposite the moon in Libra. Sun is conjunct Chiron, square Mars in Cancer. That is a fucking shit show. And it's a release of energy from a gnarly eclipse back in October, early October, whatever was going on in relationships, you guys. Next week, with Venus going direct on the same day. Are you kidding me? So I'm doing an event that I'm actually going to open up to the public, but if you're part of the membership, you get in for free. Just like you get into all the shit, and you get all my courses for free too. So check out the membership. It's fucking dope. It's $25 a month. Can't beat it. There's so much. I hook my members up. Anyway, I will open it up for the public. It's going to be a cord healing ceremony for relationships. So everybody talks about cord cutting. Honestly, cord cutting doesn't really fucking work, because your ties with someone are released when you come into acceptance around the relationship, and then you're able to actually move on, right? So cord cutting, take it from somebody who knows. I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart. Hi. I have done a cord cutting or two in my fucking lifetime. We'll just say that. They don't work. What does work is healing. And I want to assist people in healing the relationships in their life. So I have an amazing guest. Her name is Karen. She did a candle casting ritual at another mystery school membership. People loved her. I'm having her back on, and it's going to be great. So if you are like really at your wit's end, struggling with something within your heart space with another person, it doesn't need to be romantic, come and join us. It's going to be, let me get that date for you. And I will promo it on my Instagram. I'm on Instagram, Coyote Star Astrology. I haven't even made the promo yet, so I can't post it on this video. I'm going to do that tomorrow. Let me get the date for you though. It's going to be Friday, April 11th, the day before the full moon, probably like around 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Anyways, if you're not on Instagram and you don't want to get in, I get it. Just email me, coyotestarastrology@gmail.com, and I'll get you sorted. Anyways, what was the point? Oh, Venus retrograde. So Venus goes direct next week, day of the full moon, or like the day after. It's like it's in the 24-hour window. Venus is going direct with Saturn. So we've been on this whole Venus retrograde in Pisces with Mercury retrograde. Pisces is the fairyland, dreamy, fantasy realm, confusion realm, right? Well, when Venus goes direct, she's going to be with Saturn, and she's going to get there this weekend. So a lot of you are going to be coming to final realizations within relationships within the next week and a half, and big decisions are going to be made. If you are waiting for clarity on anything financial, it could be that as well. Also check the house that all of the Pisces is hitting for you, because that area is probably popping off. Mine's in my 12th house, so not helpful. It's like that doesn't really narrow it down. But if you have a situation like that, what you can do is look at your Neptune placement in your chart, and that will tell you where this energy is trying to go, because it's activating that. Anyways, I have one more point, and then maybe we'll do some questions. Another thing that's happening simultaneously along with all of this is that the retrograde planets have been dancing in and out of Pisces and Aries. This is a gnarly threshold, because in Pisces, it's all love and everything's connected. And then when we get into Aries, it's very separating. It's like, no, I am me, and this is what's best for me, and I'm having an earth experience right now, and there are certain things I want to do, and there's certain things I don't want to do. Then we went back in Pisces, and it was like, well, maybe I can make this work. Maybe I can love this person. Like, you know, like, and so it's been very challenging, and it's kind of like taking us up into the higher chakras and then down and more into like, well, wait, but what is best for me, and what is my boundaries right now? And do I want that type of experience in my life versus, you know, this more idealistic, and the truth lies somewhere in the middle, truly, at this time, I believe. Saturn is going to help us kind of figure that out, and we'll start to figure that out this weekend. All right. I think I said everything I need. Wow, I've been talking fast. I didn't have any fucking caffeine. I'm freaking on one today. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Anybody have any preguntas? Sorry. What else? Someone's asking, what's a good time for a first date with some guy? Whenever. I mean, thing with Venus retrograde, okay, that's a good thing to cover, because people ask me about that a lot. Like, what's the deal with retrogrades? While I talk about it, I'm gonna try. I went to go get candles the other day, and I wanted just like these white ones that I'm obsessed with, and I burned so many of these, you guys. I buy them by the box. Anyway, I went to go get them, and they only had one of these. So I'm gonna take, God bless him, Saint Jude. Oh, it's Saint Jude. I don't know who that is. I'm sure he's lovely. I love you. I just don't really want his. I just don't. I want it to be white. Anyhow, so people ask me about Venus retrogrades a lot. And I think that there's a lot of misconceptions about it, in the sense of like, Is it a bad time to start a relationship? All that. Now, here's the thing. Everything is on divine timing. It's not bad. Nothing is bad. You know what I mean? What it more is that when Venus is retrograde, it's actually like a very karmic time, you know? It's like Venus is dipping into a different world to sort some things out. And think about it. Oh, this is interesting, actually. You ever notice before when somebody's calling in a relationship, they'll usually spend a period of time before trying to get their shit together. Like, you hear people say that, right? They're like, I want a partner, but I've got to work on myself first. And they'll like hit the gym, or they'll change their diet, or they'll try to work on some of the things in life that within them that they want to make better in preparation for a partner. What energy is that? Virgo. Virgo is purification and improvement. That's why Virgo comes before Libra, because it's the preparation for partnership. Anyways, different point. So it's almost like Venus is like working some things out within herself. And so it's not that it's a bad time to meet someone, it's that there are things being processed and decisions will have a lot more clarity, and there will be a lot more footing for a relationship when she gets her shit sorted and she's actually like, going forward. That said, it is a time when people walk into our life. Why? Because Venus retrograde is about past life contracts. So it's a time when we often really want to start a relationship. It's also when relationships end. Me and a previous partner we had a conversation the other day, and we got together during a Venus retrograde like 8 years ago or 7 years ago. And while we're not getting back together right now, we are like entering a new phase, I would say, of our relationship, knowing one another. And it's obvious that there's a door shutting, like a death of a version of us, and we're now walking forward for the rest of our lives in a different direction, and wherever the hell that goes. So that can happen. There's often those cycle loops. Same thing with Mercury retrograde. Perfect example. I signed a lease yesterday. Oh my God, for Seattle. I have a 6-month lease in Seattle, you guys, starting June 1st. I'm so excited. And Venus and Mercury were fucking retrograde. And is that ideal? No. But here's the thing. Actually, the moment of signing the contract, the chart was fucking gorgeous, other than the retrogrades. And here's the thing. It's not long term. I don't want to be in Seattle. I'm going to go to Australia actually after Seattle. So I was fine. I wouldn't buy a house with those two things retrograde, but I'm not buying a house. I'm just going somewhere for a little while. Also, of course, when I signed the lease, the day that the lease agreement ends, Mercury goes direct. So I'm going to be leaving during another retrograde, which is totally like, I guessed it. I was like, I already know. You know what I mean? So that's how these things work. Anyways, I went on a tangent here. It's not a bad time to meet someone. It is a time of reflection around matters of the heart. So I would say TMI, but don't sleep with him until, well, whatever, do whatever the hell you want to do. I wouldn't make any binding actions until things are direct and you're more clear in your head. my last long-term relationship, same person I was just talking about. I actually met him during a Venus retrograde in Scorpio. And I waited, y'all. I met him at the beginning. I met him at the pre-shadow, and I made him wait until post-shadow was done before. That's 3 months. Discipline. I was like, no, we're not doing anything in that portal. We're going to get to know each other. We're going to take it slow. We did really fun things actually, but I didn't want to take that step because I didn't want any contractual or binding actions to happen within a retrograde. And I think the other thing that's interesting is like, this whole like superstition about retrogrades is like, we really want a relationship to last, but just because a relationship doesn't last forever doesn't mean that it was a failure. Like, it's going to last as long as it's going to last for that lesson to be learned. And then it's going to transition into something else. And I don't know, myself personally, I'm friends with pretty much all of my previous partners, and they don't leave my life, like, unless it was an unhealthy person. And there's been a couple of those where just like respectfully, there is a boundary there and we don't speak. But for the most part, after a number of years has gone by and wounds have healed, like, they are my friends and I talk to them on a pretty regular basis. Oh my gosh. This person is telling me about St. Jude. The St. Jude candle is dedicated to people who are caught in a desperate situation and need spiritual help right away. Known as the patron saint of the impossible, he creates miracles to help you. Oh, we love him. Well, St. Jude persevered because I can't even get it off anyways. And now, honestly, what I've done is creating this interesting, almost like distressed, like antique look. And I'm into it. I don't know. Sometimes I think it just looks a little cheapy. You know, it was nothing against St. Jude. He looks like he's amazing. I love him. I love him actually. Yeah, sometimes they just still look a little cheap to me. Oh, I just have fucking wax all over. Great. Love that. So we learned something about St. Jude. Yeah, I'm super excited about Seattle. I can't wait. Oh, I've been in Shasta though. Holy shit, you guys. I'm living in Mount Shasta, California. I don't think I really thought about that before getting here. Like, it was just like a kind of an impulsive decision. A friend of mine, a room opened up in the house and she was like, "Do you want to come live?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, I'll have a Shasta moment." And I got here and I was like, wow, this is really high. Like, this is a crazy place. It's kind of like being in a gigantic crystalline church, like, all the time. The energy, it's really crazy. I could literally see the freaking volcano out my window. Well, you can't see it right now because it's snowing, but literally the volcano is right there. Like, couldn't be bigger, huge. I'm probably like, I don't know, 5 minutes from the foot of it or something by car. Crazy. It has been so activating. My dreams have been insane. My Neptune line runs through here, so I came here on purpose. It has just been a fucking trip. I don't know if you guys have ever been here. If you haven't, come get some of this energy because it is just profound. What are my plans for Australia? I love Australia. My moon line runs through Australia, and I have been before. I actually got trapped there during COVID because when I took off from my flight in LAX, COVID had happened, but they didn't even have like a name for it yet. It was just like, oh, there's this virus, and I was like, oh, trip out, crazy. And then I got on the plane, had the 24-hour flight to Australia, landed in Melbourne, and COVID was like, it was like, you guys remember, we all remember. And then I couldn't get a flight out I ended up being in Australia for 2 months during that whole thing. Really interesting. Love Australia. Love Australia. Love the people. Love the spirit of that place. It is a really interesting place, and I really wanted to go back and explore the northern part, like Queensland and Byron Bay and all of that. So because I'm having such a crazy winter this time, and my winter started early because I was in Seattle in October. So I've been kind of in this for a long time, like 6 months now. I'm kind of gonna not do winter next time. I'm gonna go to Australia and escape, and I'm gonna go have some adventures. I don't know. Fortuna Kali. Cool. Check that out. Yeah, and then after Australia, I'm gonna go to Europe. I've never been to Europe, guys. I'm really fucking excited. It's one of those things. I don't know if any of you have had this where like you're gonna love a place so much that it scares you, and so you like avoid it. That's been Europe for me. Like I've I can't like I just no, like I was just like not yet. Like I can't, but I can, and I'm doing it, and I'm like going for a while. I'm going to Paris, I'm going to Berlin, I'm going to Prague, I'm going to go over to Morocco, I'm going to go to Egypt and see my friend Hassan. Shout out Hassan if he watches this. I'm coming to see you. And then I'm going to go back to Europe, and I want to go to Spain, and I'm just like whatever. So this year is focused on healing because I have been healing from kind of like an autoimmune type of vibe. And so I can't travel really right now. So best way to find your moon line. I believe astro.com has an astrocartography map. It does. I think it's Astro Click Travel. If you go to astro.com and you look at, they have like a million thumbnails. I think it's Astro Click Travel, and you should be able to find it. Or you can use Astro Gold, like a program like I have. Yeah, I'm excited. Hey, Joey. Good to see you. Oh my God, Abby, you got to be here in the summer. I'm unfortunately going to be leaving Shasta middle of May, like right when it gets fucking perfect, but it's just the way that things panned out. But oh man, Siskiyou Lake is so beautiful. I've been going there on the days that it has been sunny. Siskiyou Lake is not far from where I'm at, and oh man, it is just something else, man. I don't know if it's been the fucking Pisces energy, or I just was there the other day and I was like, I feel like I'm in a fucking dream right now. Like this does not feel real. Very, very, very special place. What else? What else? I do have Sagittarius. I have my Sun, my Saturn, and Uranus, and two of those are in the ninth house of Sag. And I have Neptune in my ninth house, which is going to be squared for like the next 5 years. So I'm probably going to be traveling everywhere, having no idea what the fuck is going on. But I consciously didn't have children so that I could travel. That was a conscious decision. Not to say you can't travel with children. I know that you can, but let's just admit that it is a different experience. And I made that choice like around 31. I actually did a really deep journey on mushrooms about it. I was 31 and I was like, okay, what the fuck am I doing? Am I doing that? Being a mom was like, I know that I would be a good mom, and it was just like, fuck, like what do I really want? And I wasn't sure, and I couldn't see past programming and And sometimes you want something just because you're afraid of the chance being taken away. And I was getting older. And so anyway, it was actually my 31st birthday. I did a solo mushroom journey around that question. Actually, it was LSD. It was LSD. And I was in a cabin in Ashland, Oregon, and I went into it with the question, do I want to do that or not? And it was a really intense, very long journey. And I came out of it certain, no, actually, I don't. I think it's a beautiful thing. I have so much respect for people that have kids. You have no idea. But I didn't want it. I didn't authentically want it. And what I did want was to travel. So that's what I'm doing in this season of my life. And it feels good. It feels like what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, Abby, do it. You won't regret that move. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. It is. That's all I've been thinking while I've been here is, damn, it's going to be so beautiful in the summer. We got snow again today. So there's going to be lots of water. You guys, since I've lived here in Shasta, I've just every day, not every day, every 3 days or so, I go to the river here. You can get water straight out of the fucking Sacramento River at the top of it. And it's so nice to do that. It's such a trip. It's like, what a novelty to not have to buy water. Oh, you live here. Oh my God. How amazing. Lucky you. People say it's the root chakra of the world. I don't know that anybody can confirm that, but it's definitely something, man. It's crazy. What else? I'm gonna start writing shit down. I often think like, oh, I should talk about that on the live, and then I can never remember. Greece is another place I really want to go. Street Ghost is asking, have you been doing any more training related to your 2025 goals? Let's see. Well, yes. Yes, I have been. I know what you're talking about. I actually just recently had a very special person come and visit me, somebody that I have a really deep soul connection to, and her name is Danny, and she came here from the UK, and we spent a few weeks together, and she and I have a grand water trine in our chart. She has Mercury in Cancer conjunct Mars in Cancer, and it trines my Jupiter and my Mercury, and it's just this big fucking 12th house fucking magic explosion. It's beautiful. And she and I made flashcards. Oh, they're right here. We made flashcards with symbols on them, and we practiced our psychic abilities together. That is one of my 2025 goals, is to really dial those in. And it was fucking crazy, you guys. We like, oh, here we go. Cute. Just really simple. We got like, no joke, the equivalent of about like 8.5 out of 10 correct, I would say. But we played for a long time. We played for like an hour, so whatever, like maybe like realistically, like maybe like 25 out of 30 correct. Like it was like really fucking insane. And so that's one of my goals. I haven't been practicing telekinesis. I'm a little bit handicapped, or maybe that's just the story I'm telling myself. I'm a little bit handicapped with that right now, I think, because of my health stuff. My chi is not very high. I don't like saying that because I don't like labeling myself with something negative, but it's confirmed by my pulse. Like the Chinese, Chinese medicine, you can take your pulse and you can know your chi actually. There's YouTube videos on it if you want to learn how to do it. It's fucking awesome. But like my acupuncturist always tells me like, yeah, your pulse is still really weak, and it is. You can barely feel it in my left wrist. This wrist has to do with digestion. And so telekinesis requires like a mastery of chi and ability to move that. And I was doing it and I was feeling a little bit exhausted. And then I was like, maybe this isn't really what I need to be doing while I'm kind of depleted already. You know what I mean? So instead, I shifted gears to Tai Chi, which admittedly I've been a little bit lazy about. I need to get back to that. But anyways, yeah. Someone asking me how long no nicotine. Over 2 years. I celebrated 2 years in February. Don't even think about it. Oh, hell yeah, Street Ghost. Fuck yeah. Are you training telekinesis? Yeah, my focus hasn't been great. I have really bad brain fog with my current condition. Unfortunately, that good for you, Jen. Hell yeah. 9 months no nicotine, Jen. Congratulations. That's phenomenal. It's a fucking hard one. That is a hard one. You're a warrior, man. You know what's funny actually, in my live about addiction, I was going on and on and on about how I don't smoke cannabis or like cannabis, and I've actually been having like a little bit of a cannabis moment recently. Um, it happens sometimes. Like she's an interesting spirit in my life. She'll show up like very unannounced, come in, we'll spend like some time, like maybe like a month, and then she'll leave. And I'm having one of those. And it's fucking profound. What a fucking crazy plant cannabis is. I don't know how people smoke it as much as they do. I'm like, this shit is like a fucking acid trip, let me tell you. But she is actually the one that helps me realize that I need to sit with ayahuasca, and that I was really avoiding that cannabis and the spirit kind of helped me see that resistance in a different way. And then I signed up for the ceremony. So did I test my body for mold? It's so interesting that you're asking me that question, because that has come up so much. It's like, obviously I've thought about it before, but just like in this last week, it's being recommended that I test. I would so not be surprised. In fact, it's more that I don't want to know, because I'm pretty sure that it is a factor. And I just like, I don't know, I get to the point where like, I don't really want any more bad news. Does that make sense? And I'm already doing such a flushing protocol that like, the only thing I could really add to help with mold right now would maybe be like more binders. But like, I'm already doing like coffee enemas every day still and everything. And I'm seeing the needle move, and my healing is just really fucking slow. And, but again, it's all reflective of some energetic things that I'm going through as well. And I had for those that don't know, I'm working with a practitioner. Her name, or it's Whole Body Healing with Jen. I'm going to rep her again because it's just the best gut protocol that I've come across. That's what I'm doing. I am working with Melanie, which is her assistant. Can't say enough good things about Melanie. It is affordable as well. It's not super crazy. Oh shit. What was I saying? I hate it when that happens. Mold. Talking about mold. Oh, that's it. I had a check-in with her yesterday, and I'll admit, I had a little cry. I had a cry on the call because I had a big flare in my body last week because I deviated from my strict protocol because Danny was in town and we were having fun. And the big slip was that shoot me. I had a coffee. Jesus Christ. That was enough to just like send me over the edge. And I was suffering some symptoms again. And I just got really frustrated because I've been so disciplined. And then I just had this like 1 week where I wanted to cheat, and I didn't even eat anything. Like I stayed on my food. I wanted some coffee in the morning, like fucking, and she was like, well, have you been doing your nervous system regulation exercises that we set you up with and everything? And I was like, no, I'm saying this to take accountability because the nervous system, emotional, spiritual work is just as important as the physical. And even though I've been so fucking on the physical part, admittedly, I have been pretty lazy with the other stuff. So yeah, I could totally have mold poisoning, Siren. I was living in a place that was under construction when I first got sick, and there was a possibility of that. And then I went right to Bali, which is historic for having tons of mold because of the climate. But the thing is like mold and gut permeability go together. And that's why some of us can go into an environment that has mold and come out relatively unscathed, while others that have that permeability in their gut lining, they're going to have those mycotoxins cross into the blood-brain barrier and make them sick. So either way, it's a gut issue at the end of the day. Yeah. I'm really working on the bile. Oh shit, my computer's gonna die. That wouldn't be good. Hold on. I am working on the bile, Siren. You know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm working on the bile. Hang on. I actually am taking several shit. Oh God. Lord help me. Let's see. Can you even see me anymore? No. Oh shit, that's fucking funny. Hold on, guys. That is so hilarious. Well, we can always turn on the light in the room if we need to, but let's see if we can get this rolling. This is like, it's just got intimate up in here. Like, what's going on? Come on. This is unbelievable. I have 2 lights going and they're both not working now. Love that. Love that for me. Hold on. Okay, you know what we're going to do? Okay, fuck that. Hold on. Hi. So what we're going to do is we're going to unbox my new light that I bought because this one is a piece of shit, obviously. So, hi. I know I don't normally drink coffee either, to be honest, but like sometimes, like here's the truth. I'm a fucking addict and I love to get high, and that is being bad for me nowadays, a coffee. And I want it to be bad. Fucking sue me, you know? And here we go. Oh, it's a box in a box. Oh, wait. Is this? Oh, no. It's totally not the light I thought it was. Whatever. It's a light. Ow. Fuck. That fell right on my toe. Okay. Why do things hurt so bad that fall on your toe? Like, it is a pain that really is like unlike any other. Seems like unnecessary. All right, here we go. Fortune. Hi, Fortune. Oh, my friend Fortune's here. Oh, Fortune, by the way, Danny and Danny loved the messages you sent her. We listened to them and they were awesome. You know, MHD, Muse, Mus, whatever, you're right. And you're the second person that's told me that today. Actually, Melanie told me that during our session when I cried. She was like, I think you're a little bit of a perfectionist and you're being really hard on yourself. And she's not wrong. She's not wrong. I am. But, you know, a lot of us are, you know. And, all right, here we go. Moment of fucking truth. Ah, yes. Not today, light. Not today. Fucking there. Proud of myself. Anyways, now this one's fucking bright as hell. Hold on. Let's get it to the. There we go. Back in business. Like nothing ever happened. Try to get it straight. It's casting unflattering shadows on my face. There we go. Oh, thank you. I've been on, yeah. Curious about the tattoos. What about them? The new ones? These bad boys, I'm fucking obsessed. So yeah, I got some blackout work on my arms because I no longer resonated with the first tattoo I ever got. I didn't hate it. I was just over it. And I love the way that black work looks. I felt like my tattoos were starting to look a little busy. And I wanted a way to kind of like, yeah, bring them together a little more cohesively, a little more elegantly, because I am getting older. And, you know, as we get older, sometimes the stuff that looked good when we were younger just kind of starts to shift a little bit. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go even more gnarly and I'm gonna just black some shit out. So I went to my artist. Her name's Diamante Maru. She's amazing. She's in LA. And she and I kind of came up with this vision together. I love it. I think it really suits me. And next or May, we're gonna bring it down, and we're gonna outline. It's kind of hard to tell. We're basically gonna outline this piece and do black everywhere else. And then eventually I'm going to black out this part because I don't like it. And then we're going to do some more black here as well. And yeah, that's kind of the vision. Thank you. I love the neck one as well. That's Philip Millick. It extends down. It's actually a chest piece, but no one ever sees it because I always wear t-shirts because I don't know. I just feel more comfortable in them, I guess. But yeah, I love tattoos. They're like one of my favorite parts of being a human, believe it or not. I just think they're so fun. And I love experimenting with the impermanence. And I just love getting them and tripping out about how, you know what I do sometimes? This is how fucking Scorpio I am. I'll get a tattoo and I'll look at it and I'll be like, it's so crazy that like especially the one on my hands, like I'll look at it and I'll be like, this is going to be there until my hand, this is so TMI, either rots or burns. Like I'll think about that and I'll just be like, whoa, like just totally trip out. And like, it just makes me like really appreciate being alive. I don't know. Hey, Jackson. Hi. Good to see you in here. Jackson's awesome. We know each other from LA. He was so sweet. Jackson, he's on Instagram, his same thing, Jackson Dragos. We did a event at a place in LA called Mystic Manor, and he's such a beautiful light. And he did a presentation before me, and he had brought his own little mic, and he let me use it. He was so kind. He like came up and offered it to me, and so I was really not feeling very well that day. I was preparing for eye surgery, and I honestly probably shouldn't have even been presenting, but I am a perfectionist and I didn't want to cancel. I look like shit and I felt like shit, and I just didn't even really want to do it, to be honest. And I got there and he was like, "Do you want to use my mic?" And so I just got to talk in my normal speaking voice, which was a lot more calming for me to not have to project. And it just totally made the whole experience better. He was like my little angel that day. So thank you, Jackson. Fortune has incredible tattoos. He's way more covered than I am, at least for now. I plan on, I'm gonna go big, you guys. You ain't seen nothing yet. I'm gonna do, yeah, I want a tattoo right here soon, I think. I have a piece on my, kind of like my, I don't know, my stomach right here on both sides that I want to do. Oh yeah, we gotta nerd out for sure. Astrocartography is so beautiful. Oh, I know what I want to talk about. Oh man. So water world vibes. I don't know if I know what that is. Isn't that like it's kind of like a Mad Max vibe, isn't it? Okay. So uh something that has been happening to me um is so beautiful, and I want to share about it. So quick little backstory to set us up for the story. So in evolutionary astrology, which is the type of astrology that I do, there are three states of consciousness that Jeffrey Wolf Green identifies that humanity is in. And we don't need to go too deep into this, but the first state makes up most of humanity, and that's the herd state. And that is younger souls. They haven't done the human experience as many times, and they sort of rely on an external authority to tell them what to do, such as like a government or a world religion. Then you have the individuated state, which is the second state, which is an older soul than that. And then you finally have the spiritualized state. Spiritualized state of consciousness is basically a hallmark of an older soul that's lived just a greater number of human lifetimes. Think of them as like the senior class of Earth, right? It makes up a small percentage of Earth, and it's not that anybody's better than anyone else. It's just that they've done it more times. That's it. And you actually read a chart differently. You find out where your client falls in that spectrum. It's pretty easy. Spiritualized state of consciousness has realized that we are all one. They are no longer following an organized religion. They're connecting with it within themselves, and they're forming their individual relationship with spirit. They're often attracted to things like astrology because it's a non-denominational modality. I feel like I should probably explain this better, but for brevity's sake, I'm not going to. But just know that it's a big part of evolutionary astrology, and it's very fascinating. Now, when two people come together that are in the spiritualized state of consciousness, and there are tiers in the spiritualized state of consciousness. Obviously, it's very complex. Basically, the older the soul, I'm sure you guys are aware of like synastry and composites and past life contracts. A composite chart is a chart of the past life contract. And the higher you get in the spiritualized state of consciousness, the more it's actually a part of your journey with another person to actually begin to have vivid recall of past lives with one another and actually do the work to clear the things that happened in that past life with another person so that you can go into the next phase of the evolution of that union, which would be identified by the North Node in the composite chart. So the composite chart is your blueprint of your soul contract with another human. If you want to do a composite reading, I do them. You can find it on my website. Cool. But me and Danny is super, super old soul, very ancient soul. She and I, during the freaking like Neptune North Node conjunction, when she was here, like we were having some crazy past life, like memories of being in Morocco and our past life as men together and like just like whoa, it was fucking insane. And it's not that that's never happened to me before, because there have been a few souls in my life that have been to that level of understanding where you can actually go there, and talk about like it's not like, oh, maybe we've met before, but it's literally just like, okay, hi, good to see you again. Like, and what just happened? And then just like really like going back in the archives consciously together. Um, Whoa, dude. Like, it's like fucking welcome to the next level. Like, when you actually get to be in the presence of somebody that can go to those places, it is fucking insane. And it really, um, it just reminded me how precious those things are, how life changing they are, and how important it is to consciously work to attract those types of relationships, I guess is the best way to put it. Um, because we can spend our time with a lot of people, and it's not that anything but that isn't a great, experience, but like it's just truly profound. And yeah, I feel very blessed to have that experience. And yeah, we have so many soulmates in this life, like um I think that that's part of the Neptune North Node conjunction is breaking out of this such this limiting thing that we were all taught, that there's just like one person in the world for you and you're supposed to spend all this time pining for them and looking for them, and then you find them and then you lock it down in a contract with the fucking weird government involved and like this whole thing, and then it's just like that's it, and it's just like that's so not how it is at all. And it's so much more vast than that, and there is so much love available, like it's crazy. It's like, but it's only available if you're open to experience that level um of love, and it's not as scarce as we're led to believe. I've never heard of White Moon, Selena, to be honest with you. You're welcome. Well, I feel like I've kind of said what I came on to say. Oh my God, it's been almost an hour and a half. If anybody has any last minute questions, I will answer them before I hop off. And I will post this live if you didn't get to see the beginning. Oh, yes. This person's saying the spiritualized state of consciousness category probably have the most challenging and trauma prone charts. No? Well, no, not about the charts. You can't tell spiritualized state of consciousness from the chart at all. But the, it's hard to explain. Okay. So the chart is a blueprint, but every single placement in the chart, every planet has a low frequency and a high frequency. It is the soul driving the chart that chooses or dictates how those placements are going to express themselves on that spectrum. So the chart actually doesn't matter in the sense of the question you're asking, that you can't tell a person's consciousness based off of their chart. But as you go up the ladder of lifetimes, the stakes get higher, and the challenges that you face get more complex because everything is getting more complex. And I believe, I even want to say that I know, but I'm always careful about that. But I believe that the positives get larger too, in like, you start like developing like your superpowers and shit. You know what I mean? But with that comes all the traps of the ego that come with superpower advancement, right? Like telekinesis and like all these things, totally real, totally true. Um, you know, but it's a very pure of heart person that can come into a gift like that and not let their ego take over and, destroy their life with fame or desire for recognition, and then they fall off their throne, fall from grace, and they have to do another whole lifetime where they make up for it and all the shit, right? This is the whole thing about the hero's journey, and like the quest is only the purest soul gets through those gateways. It's hard, it takes a long time. I can't remember in the Hindu religion how many lifetimes you get before you make it to, I think they call it moksha. Don't quote me on that. So it's something close to that, of like enlightenment. I can't remember how many lifetimes they say, but I remember it's not that many. I remember being surprised. I was like, I think it's a little more than that, but what do I know? All I know is that we definitely live many times. Yeah, I think that there's something to be said for challenging placements in the chart in that sense. Sure. Um, like my Venus. She's a shit show. Mox Mosh Moxa. Mosh, I think it's Moxa. Oh boy, I'm gonna fucking Google it. Let's ask Oracle Google. Moksha. Okay, I was wrong. Moksha. Sanskrit word translates to liberation or release and signifies the ultimate goal in Hinduism, which is to break free from the cycle of reincarnation, samsara. Achieving moksha involves realizing the true nature of the self, Atman, and its oneness with the ultimate reality, Brahman, leading to a state of eternal bliss and freedom from suffering. So once again, the key to this is realization of oneness, to loop it back to the end, the beginning. Oh man, that makes me want to read this quote. Hold on one second. I am not tired. What time is it? I usually go to bed around this time. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Oh God. Danny and I found this quote. It's so good. It's very Scorpio. It's the Book of Creation. It's Kabbalistic book on the tree of life, and so on and so forth. Oh, here it is. Oh, wow. I actually flipped to it. That's insane. The quote is 10 Sephirot of nothingness. This is my favorite part. Their end is embedded in their beginning, and their beginning in their end, like a flame in a burning coal. For the master is singular. He has no second. And before one, what do you count? Oh, drool. I love it so much. Their end is embedded in their beginning, and their beginning in their end. It's like the snake that eats its own tail. Yes, street ghost. Exactly. Like a flame in a burning coal, for the master is singular. He has no second, and before one, what do you count? Yes. I love it so much. So like cryptic and just cinematic and amazing. It just sends me places in my mind forever. A flame cannot exist without the coal, and the burning coal cannot exist without the flame. Although the coal is the cause of the flame is also the cause of the burning coal. Without the flame, it would not be a burning coal. Wow. Yeah, it's a portal. Incredible. Well, anybody else have a question? There's some people in here. I'm shocked. This is such a funny mood tonight. The book is, I'm gonna butcher it. I don't like saying the names of important books incorrectly. Sefer Yetzirah, the Book of Creation. The font is kind of difficult to read. There you go. This is Danny's book, by the way. Thank you, Danny. If you're looking at this, you left your book, hopefully on purpose. Y'all know to never put a book on the floor, right? It's like just not. It's a sign of respect. You keep them on the desk. I can't think of anything else. If anybody has a question, I'll answer. Otherwise, I think I'm going to sign off. Neptune and Aries, eh? As a Twitter says. Yeah, Neptune and Aries. You know, with these larger planets, there's just it's a larger process that's a little bit harder to define, like the smaller planet transits. And it becomes a lot more important to know how it's impacting your individual chart. And I highly suggest that you know that. And another thing is that because Neptune and Saturn is going to come in Aries and join Neptune, right? In end of May, beginning of June. That's going to activate the Mars placement in your chart in a new way because Mars is ruled by Aries. So know where your Mars is and about your Mars because that's going through an evolutionary process right now. The negative side of Neptune is confusion and delusion. But I wouldn't worry about that too much, to be honest, unless it's impacting your chart in an extreme way, like it is square a planet or conjunct a planet. It's exactly opposite my moon right now. My moon is at 0 Libra. So Neptune going into Aries, it's exactly opposite my moon. Saturn is going to come and oppose my moon exactly in a couple of months' time. Pray for me. How am I experiencing Neptune opposite my moon? Since I'm a perfect example, my eye's getting dry. I'm going to put some drops in it. My eye surgery, thank God, went really well, but it's still much less so than before. But, I've been talking for whatever it is. What was I saying? Oh, Neptune opposite the moon. I'm experiencing a lot of confusion in 6th house matters around health. The protocol I'm doing is working, but it's just there are some things, it's too much to go into right now, but there's just some things that she had me doing that I thought were working. And now we're kind of like, oh, is it even working? Should we try something different? So there's just like a lot of confusion around that. My moon is in Libra. There's been some very, very confusing things about relationships. All of them are going well, actually, as a result of this retrograde and the breakthroughs therein. However, a couple of weeks ago, I was singing a different fucking tune and I was going, what the fuck is going on? I still don't really know what the fuck's going on, to be honest, but I have surrendered and I am loving it, actually, and everything is great now that I've surrendered. I would never do a class on reading astrocartography because honestly, I know as much as you know. If you know your signs, all I know how to do is pull it up on Astro Gold and read the lines and where they pass. And it is an in-depth area of astrology. So no, I would never teach it because I don't have jurisdiction to do so. I would pay someone that studied it really well. I haven't. I don't know why. Just never really. Maybe I will one day. Julie, so your sun is being squared then. So you want to look at your sun by house. And what is the sun? The sun is your shine, your identity. It's how the soul radiates its expression. It's your expression. It's how you express yourself creatively in the world. It's your confidence. The sun is like very much like fundamentally sort of like who you are in the way of like how you're seen. So Neptune is dissolving an old identity and helping you birth a new one, but it's probably creating a lot of confusion around that at the same time. And the house it's in will give you more information as well as any other planet in aspect. So yeah, 11th house, that could affect how you show up in community, how you show up in the public, how you show up in friendships in general, could be changing and dissolving. But that's a very public sun in the 11th is public. I mean, it's one of those houses where it's like the soul is here to shine and be witnessed and seen by other people and bring some kind of like service to humanity through very publicly. I like Placidus house system. I swear by it. I know as an evolutionary astrologer, I should be using Placidus. That would be Jeffrey Wolf Green's preference, but I have experimented and it's one of the only places that I don't disagree with him. Actually, I do not disagree with him. Periphery is totally works. I just find my readings to be more accurate with Placidus. So I use it. I could change that one day. I don't know. Maybe I'll have an experience that changes my mind, but I've been doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of readings with Placidus and they have yet to be incorrect. I mean, they're spot on. And I experimented by looking at things on the cusp of houses and seeing if it changed and found Placidus to be the system. Whole sign is very in vogue, right? Yeah, I've noticed that. Audra, I wish I was down to do an in-person reading. It's nothing personal. I have just had some scary things happen in the past with people in that sense. I'm sure you were lovely. It's not about you. It's just I gotta have that boundary unless I like run into somebody in an organic sense, but I try to keep it kind of separate. Do you think if coyotes had been domesticated for a couple of generations, you would ever think about getting one as a pet? Um, it's not really about them being domesticated. I My last dog had some coyote in him, and he came to me quite divinely in the sense that I wasn't looking for him. Although I was inside subconsciously, but I didn't know that I was. And he chose me. So I don't think that I would ever go seeking any animal, to be honest. If one found me, I would show up if it felt like that was supposed to happen. I love coyotes, though. I've always had a very deep, complicated relationship with coyote medicine. They used to scare the shit out of me as a kid. I lived in Goleta, which is a small town in the foothills on the outskirts of Santa Barbara. It's part of Santa Barbara. And there's a lot of coyotes there. And I remember when I was little and I would hear them at night, and my mom would always get up and go to the window and listen to them. I thought they were like demons. They sound like fucking demons. It was terrifying. It was like the most scary shit to me ever as a kid. And my mind created all of these stories of what they looked like. And I remember when I finally actually saw one, I was really confused because it was like just this small, like very innocent looking brown dog. And my mind had created this fucking monster. And so they were actually this very haunting thing for me for a very long time. And then I moved to Topanga, and there's coyotes everywhere. And I started doing more plant medicine, and I started becoming more acquainted with like the more indigenous native perspective of coyote medicine and how they're a trickster. And one night I'd come home from a full moon party or something, and I was laying in bed, and a pack of coyote I was sleeping actually in this like outdoor tent in somebody's house. So I was like basically outside, and this pack of coyotes had made a kill like 10 feet. And I mean, if you've ever heard that sound, you don't forget it. It's absolutely fucking terrifying. It sounds like souls like literally screaming in the underworld for about 10 minutes, and then they go dead silent. And it's when they've caught something usually. And so I'm laying there listening to this, and I'm just like, oh my God, like something is literally dying right now. And that's the last thing this poor soul is hearing. And I like tapped in with Coyote, and I was like, why do you do that? Like, why do you have to make that sound? Like, it sounds like laughter. It's like really sinister and fucked up. And I immediately got this response from, I assume, like this coyote wisdom. I don't know. And it was like all of these types of transmissions, it wasn't in words. I didn't hear anything. It was just like it was a knowing is how my clairvoyance works. And it was like basically something to the effect of, um, I laugh at the cosmic joke that this creature thinks it's the end, but I'm actually delivering it to its next experience. And I was like, whoa, I like fully got the whole coyote trickster download in that moment. And I was like, holy fuck, like that's deep as fuck. And people started calling me coyote all the time because I had this coyote dog. My dog looked exactly like a fucking coyote, and we were together all the time. And like, I didn't give myself that nickname. I really didn't. It was just given to me. And in Topanga, people called me Coyote all the time. Then I started introducing myself as it for a while because it was just my name there at that time. This was like 2013. Then I named my YouTube channel, which later became my website. I didn't know that I was going to become an astrologer. I had no plans for that. I just fucking started it. And honestly, to be frank, might have picked a better name if I had thought about it better. I don't think Coyote Star Astrology is even a very cool name. I just fucking chose it because at the time, that's what I was called. And I guess it's like a big part of my story at this point. And I think that I am a little bit of a trickster, not in like a malicious way at all, but like I do seem, I think because I have a lot of Scorpio, I think when I'm in deep relationship with people, I do tend to like sort of show them the places where they trick themselves or where they're being a little bit inauthentic. Um, I'm a cat person. I love cats, but I like both. Um, what did I think I was going to do in life? I never thought about it. As funny as that seems, I never fucking thought about it. I didn't care. I was so, prior to my Saturn return, I was so ungrounded, so just having the time of my life. I partied a lot. I was a directionless hippie girl who would have been quite happy to live in her car with her dog and just travel around, but I always sought deep experiences. I wasn't a surface person just fucking off. I was always studying something occult. I was on a journey of truth always. I studied yoga. I did go to college. It was very important to my parents that I went to college. I was blessed to have parents that paid for my college. I did go to college, mostly to please them, if I'm being honest. I went and I got a bachelor's in psychology. I enjoyed school. I did well in school if I liked my classes, but I didn't agree with the take that they had on how to heal people with psychology. There was always something missing to me. I did like Carl Jung. I took some really cool classes. I really enjoyed criminal psychology. I studied criminal psychology. I worked in a prison for a little while, believe it or not. I like knowing what makes people tick. I researched serial killers, sociopaths. I always found that really interesting. I just liked knowing why people do the things that they do. But I was never satisfied with the way that psychology laid it out. I thought that there was some truth there, but I just thought that it went deeper. And then I found evolutionary astrology and I was like, this is it. This is the missing piece. And so I think one of the reasons that I really like doing one-on-one sessions is that I do bolster my sessions with my knowledge of psychology. A lot of people say when they work with me that they're surprised how much it mirrors therapy sessions that they have with their therapists. We're just using the chart as the foundation for what we're talking about. But I still, I love people. I love humans. I think this is all just crazy. And I just think I love knowing about people's shadows and helping them lean into their shadows and see their shadows with compassion and understand why they do the things that they do. So, yeah, to answer your question, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just finally realized that astrology is the one thing that I never get sick of. And I just started posting about it on YouTube. And here we are. I never thought I was going to do it for a profession. Oh, wow. You remember that quote from that book. That's cool. I don't know the show Mindhunters. I'm glad you like the name Coyote Star. Sometimes I'm like, is it stupid? Like, it's just funny, like if I could go back, which I can't, and it's perfect how it is, but like, it's just a funny thing. I probably, to be honest with you, it was probably like this. If I know myself, I probably started my YouTube one afternoon in Topanga and was just like, what should the name be? Probably looked at my dog and went, coyote star like I literally did not think it was ever going to go anywhere. I didn't think about it. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of like a coyote joke that here we are all these years later and I'm like somewhat successful at what I do and I'm just like, what the hell? Like, this is the name of my business forever. Like, I'm like Coyote from Coyote. Like, how funny, you know? Like, I didn't intend for that. Oh well. And then like 5 years ago, I was like, should I change it? And then I was gonna change it, but I just, you know what I like about it is it reminds me of Santo, and it just kind of feels like a forever like um, in remembrance of him. Like, and I'm good with that. Like, he's such a big part of my life and my journey, and I owe so much to him. But some of the best years of my life was with that dog. So, oh, I'm glad you like it. That makes me happy. I've actually never really talked about that. I don't think I've ever even talked about that out loud that I can remember. Wow, 5 cats. That's awesome. Maybe when you die in this dimension, I'll turn into a coyote constellation. That would be interesting. I think I would love to study death doulaship one day. I definitely see myself doing that at one stage of the journey. I don't know when, but I would love to help people transition. I think I need to wait until things change in the world a little bit because right now death often has to happen in clinical settings, and there's so many rules about what you can do in clinical settings, and that wouldn't really work for me. There's exceptions, and I know that there are, but I also just I don't have time to study that in the way that I would need to do it. Um, but I do want to do it. Firebird 444. I like that name. Isn't it best to leave a body untouched for 3 days? I don't know. Never heard that. My intuitive answer to that, with respect for any cultural traditions that I'm not aware of, is that once you're gone, you're gone, and it's just a vessel. And personally, I don't really care that much what happens to my body after I die. I mean, I don't want anything like, I think I would like to be burned. I don't know. I'm gonna be fucking long gone at that point. Like, peace, like it's just yeah. I don't want to be spread in the ocean. I'm not an ocean girl. I'm not nautical. I'm freaked out by the fucking ocean. I don't like boats. I don't like sailing. I don't like flying over the ocean. I like a beach. I do like a beach. I like the beach, and so and so forth. I'm not into the ocean. I have deep respect for the ocean, but no, do not fucking spread my ashes in the ocean. No, thank you. There's shit in there that I can't like no. It's just a world that I don't understand, and I'm good with that. And I have deep respect for the creatures in there that could fuck me up so easily. I just had that conversation with somebody where I was like, even like I love a good beach, and I love the shallow water, and I love like laying out on the sand and getting hot and then getting in the water and cooling off. But like there's also a part of me that as soon as I'm in, I'm kind of just like, is it time to get out yet? Like, how far is the shore? Is it getting further? Like I'm always kind of like keeping tabs. Like, yeah, I'm always like kind of like looking around, like, are we good? Like I can't really relax. You know what I mean? I don't know. I also have a rare fear. Well, I don't know if it's rare, but I think it is a little bit rare, but we'll see if anybody in the chat has it. There's a name for it. Look it up. It's where you have a fear of man-made objects in the water. I have that. Name of fear of man-made objects in the water. Submechanophobia. Submechanophobia is a specific phobia characterized by an intense and irrational fear of man-made objects such as shipwrecks, underwater structures, or machinery that are partially or wholly submerged in the water. That's me. I can't. Buoys, no thank you. Anything like a cement ramp going into the water, oh God, like no, I can't. I don't know what it is. The worst would be a fucking plane in the water. Ugh, makes me want to fucking throw up. Literally, like a crashed plane in the water and me swimming. I can't do it. Does anybody relate? I literally can't. Catherine gets it. Thank you. Thank you. It's not for me. It's not for me. And I was really happy to find out about 10 years ago that there are like literal Reddit threads about this and people that understand. I think that it potentially traces back to Atlantis, where like maybe a bunch of us were traumatized by like the city flooding or something. I don't really know. All I know is that I don't like it. Thoughts on the Titanic movie? Love it, actually. Actually love it. However, the scene where the boat is up and oh my God. I mean, that's a traumatizing scene for a lot of different reasons because like a bunch of people are dying at the same time, but God bless their souls. But I really don't like it as well because of those big like, oh God, the chimney things that there's like 3 of the red chimneys and the big one and it falls and it's just in the water and it's just, yeah, I can't do it. Planes, I can't stand them. I literally can't stand planes. And it's one of the biggest jokes of my life. Thank you. Yeah. It's one of the biggest jokes of my life that I love to travel more than anything. And I can't stand planes. I can't stand the way that they smell. I can't stand the way that they sound. I think that they even look scary. Like, why do they have to look like that? They look like sharks or something. They're terrifying. I don't trust them. They've literally been like falling out of the sky regularly recently. Nobody knows why. You're cramped in there like a little sardine. Like I just can't with them. And yet I do it for whatever reason. I do it because I just fucking love to travel. But every time I'm just like literally like, please. And admittedly, in my weaker moments, I've had to take something, like little like half a Xanax here, half a Xanax there, like whatever you got to do to get through. You know what I mean? I don't enjoy planes, and partially probably because like a freaking idiot, sometimes for whatever reason, right before bed, I'll watch like the world's worst plane crashes. Like I'll just like watch that for whatever reason. Or there's this one channel where this guy, this pilot, like makes video like video reconstructions of these plane crashes with like the black box radio recordings of like what's happening. And like, dude, I've watched these by the truckload, just like binge watching these. Why do I do that? Mercury and Scorpio, like help. I did that, and now when I'm on a plane, I can visualize like exactly what would happen. And I know like, oh, I know what happens if like the fucking wing goes out, or I know what happens when I know how the plane's going to tilt, and I know how long it's going to take us to fucking crash into the ocean at 30,000, feet up in the air. Like I know all this shit because of Mercury and Scorpio and likely undiagnosed autism to some degree. And so I've literally traumatized myself. And I'm obviously fun to fly with, as you can imagine. Yes, Zeppelins. Bring back the Zeppelins. This is what I'm talking about. Have you read Into the Abyss? Have I read that? Is that about a submarine? I I I don't know why, but I just got a flash of a submarine. No, I haven't. Jen, you can feel my autism, or you can feel your own. Oh, amazing story about survivors of a plane crash. No, but I love those stories. I love stories about people getting like stuck and how they get out and all that stuff. Um, have I been playing around with any new slang or a word in your vocabulary that you are trying to incorporate more? That's a fascinating question. Have I? No slang. I feel like I'm always fucking around with a new word. Oh, yes, I am. Stridently. Strident. That word. I've been trying to incorporate that. Thank you for asking. I like that question. I heard that word. Okay, random fun fact. I love Rick Owens, the fashion guy. I don't really like his fashion. I don't really fucking care about high fashion, but I love him. I love his interviews. I think there's something about his spirit that I just find so calming and attractive and fascinating and different. I love his marriage to his wife and their age gap. I love his obvious relationship with that Tyrone guy and just how they zero fucks they give. I love that he doesn't explain himself about it. I love that even more. I love that he wears heels. I just think he's great. He's like this elven gothic fucking like prince from another dimension. And anyways, he used that word and I was like, I love that word. What does that mean? And then I looked it up and now I'm trying to incorporate stridently. So you'll probably hear me say it in a video and you'll be like, oh. All right. You know what? I'm gonna be gone for 2 seconds. I just really fucking need some water, but there's like still people hanging out. So I guess I'm gonna hang out because I'm not fucking tired, you guys. I'm like literally, I was either gonna go to the gym or get off line. So I guess I'll hang out with you all. I'm gonna go get some water though. I'll be right back. Hi. All right. Weird question. Blood diamond. Wow. I'm glad that I'm not the only one that researches weird shit. Inception. What one was that? Was that the one with Leo? Did that have the Hans Zimmerman or whatever? Is that his name? The composer? Ugh. Oh no. It is? Yes, Dream Within the Dream. Yeah, dude. Hans. That fucking song, Time. Is it Time? In the song, I have it in my Spotify. It's like reality breaking or something like that. Hans Zimmer. There he is. Hans Zimmer. I've liked 4. So the 4 songs I have by him on my Spotify. are ripples in the sand and leaving Caledon from Dune. And the dream is collapsing and time from inception. Phenomenal. Happy birthday, Shauna. That's awesome. Haven't seen Poor Things. To be honest with you, I don't really watch movies. It's weird that I've even seen the other one, but I think just so many people told me to watch it that I finally did. I am a huge fucking Tool fan. Huge. Like, in fact, I got this new guitar and I just learned Push It Live, the intro solo. I'm too embarrassed to do it live right now. I won't be able to do it, but I am learning it. And when I can shred it, I will do it. I fucking love Tool. Alice in Chains is my number one love, first and always favorite, but Tool comes second. 22 years running for both of those bands, or more, 23 probably. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of both of those. No, I got an electric. Well, I do have an acoustic, but it's an Ibanez. It's my new baby. I love it so much. Psytrance, never really my vibe. I did go to a Psytrance festival in Australia actually, and loved it, but it was never really my thing. I'm really into like ambient Psy. I love electronic music, don't get me wrong, but I'm really into Ethel Cain right now. Oh my God, I fucking love her. And my favorite actress, God, see, I'm not really like a movie, favorite actress. You know what? Juliette Lewis just sprang to mind. I don't know if I would say she's my favorite, but I really like her. I think she's beautiful. I think she's like really authentic and just like herself. But no, I don't know if that's my favorite actress. Favorite actress. God. I literally don't know. Yes, you're thinking of Ascendant and their album Meridian. Have I been Jennifer Connelly? She's good. She's good. Requiem for a Dream is insane. No, I gotta have a good actress. I'm more a musician person than an actress person because I don't really watch movies that much. You know what? I'm gonna say it. Not as an actress, but like if we're going into that realm, like unpopular opinion, I actually like Megan Fox. I actually think she's really sweet and like I don't know why people are so fucking mean to her, dude. Like I think she seems like a chill person and I would fucking hang out with her. I actually waited on her when I was a waitress in high school or not high school. When I was a waitress in Hollywood, when she was first getting on the scene, like I waited on her and she was super sweet and like absolutely, yeah, she's beautiful, but like I think that she's lovely. And she like talks about astrology and like shout out to Megan. I want to be your fucking astrologer. I would love to do that. I think that she's a beautiful person and she's obviously on her journey and she obviously like struggles with like some like self-esteem stuff sometimes. She's talked about like, oh God, people are fucking awful, dude. So I went to her page the other day and I couldn't believe the comments. I was like, people realize she's like a real person, right? And they're just fucking ripping her. And yeah, there, I'll pick Megan. I think Megan's fucking awesome. Megan, I'm on your team. I don't like bullying. Probably not what people would have guessed. And I could probably think of somebody that I like, love their acting more, that I don't know. Yeah, she just had a baby. God bless them. And I think that, say what you will about whatever his name is. What's his name? Machine Gun, whatever. Um, I think that they seem nice. I just think that they seem like sweethearts. I do. I don't listen to his music. Like I don't even know what he's doing, but I just think that he seems like a nice person. Drew Barrymore is sweet. She's sweet. Yeah, she seems sweet too. Um, I hmm, no, no, actually no. This person in these questions, I love this. Have I been to the Yuba River? Yes, I have a very complicated relationship with the Yuba River. Actually, I, me in Nevada City. I lived there like 3 different times, and I went through a gnarly breakup every single fucking time. And me and Nevada City had to break up. The Yuba River is beautiful, though. Would you rather find yourself at a coffee shop at the end of the universe or making babies on the moon? Like having sex on the moon? Do I need to make a baby? Can I just have sex? Serious question. Coffee shop at the end of the universe? I would pick sex over that any day as long as I don't have to have a child on the moon. I'm not a big Natalie Portman fan. I'm not. Mm-mm. I mean, like nothing of no offense. Like nothing bad. She's not doing anything wrong. It just doesn't do it for me. I don't know. The problem is that I don't really like that many movies. So if we were talking like independent films or something, I could probably think of like a lot of people. Tom Cruise, mm, no, like something about him. I know. See, I don't want to talk badly about people. Like he's on his journey. He's fine. Something, I don't know. He was in that really fucking good movie though. What was that one with the precogs and like it was like the sci-fi one about ooh, that one was good, man, though. Can't remember the name of that. No, not Vanilla Sky. Minority Report. Thank you, Fractal of Venus. Minority Report. That's a crazy fucking movie. Yeah. That's actually worth a revisit. It's very emotional. Guy like loses his wife and then he's like trying to like go back in time or something. What do the tats on your neck signify? Always wanted to ask. Um, these tattoos in general, this chest piece which goes with it, and actually the same artist did this and this. Um, they are basically decorative, but they represent like when I've been in hyperdimensional spaces on plant medicine and in meditation. Um, I've seen on other humans, we all have it. We have, I don't know what to call them. They're like these almost like elven decorative, I don't know what to call them. Almost like tribal markings, but they're not on our skin. They're like part of our avatar, light body maybe. And I wanted something that kind of mirrored that permanently installed on me. And that wasn't a conscious conversation that was had with the artist. He just tapped into that himself because his artwork is very much like that. And I liked it. Adornments, yes. Thanks, Fortune. kind of like sacred geometry. It's more just like maybe it is in this it does mirror the meridians um of the body in a way. This is so interesting that I can't think of a single fucking movie that I really like. Ooh, I did watch Bram Stoker's Dracula recently. Oof, that's really good. Really fucking trippy. Oh yeah, the artist is Philip Millick, who did my tattoos. Those ones, anyways. He's great. He actually is in Nevada City. Very, very well known and been doing what he does for a long time. Um, yeah, I guess I'm more of a musician person. Am I into vampires? Who's not? Yes. I have not seen The Holy Mountain. And yes, that Dracula is with Winona Ryder, Jen. It's a really cool movie. It's very romantic, very fucking Scorpio. So yes, I love vampires. I actually love Interview with the Vampire with Brad Pitt. I like Brad Pitt. I think Brad Pitt's cool. Seems like a pretty chill guy. Um, yeah, it's a Interview with the Vampire is a really good one. Um, I'm the type of person that like when I like a movie, which is rare, I watch it over and over and over and over again. Again, autism. um, and I rarely see mainstream movies. Never read Anne Rice's books. I probably should. I'd probably like them for sure. What's been getting me through lately? I guess the same thing that always gets me through. Devotion to truth. I'm always trying to figure out the truth of how I actually feel and follow that. And it keeps me going. I think Leonardo DiCaprio is a good actor for sure. There's a depth to him. There's like some depth to him uh in the same kind of way that like Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson have. Um I loved the movie with uh Dallas Buyers Club. Is that the name of it? I liked that movie. Fucking intense, but I love that movie. Oh my god, Angels in America. That's the HBO movie. That's an older one. That movie is fucking insane. It's like a fucking long ass movie about AIDS and the AIDS epidemic and it's very psychedelic about angels and fucking dude, Angels in America, great. Love the actors from that. Is truth more about the answer or the continual asking for the answer? Uh, no, I want the answer, but it just keeps opening, keeps blooming. because you get deeper into the truth. But no, I want the answer. I definitely always want the answer. Christy. Yeah, I know. I never thought I would be talking about Matthew McConaughey on a live, but here we are. Um, Here's a juicy topic that triggers the fuck out of people, and I've talked about it on one live before that I didn't save, but it's on the topic of truth, and it's been coming up recently. Um, and that is the topic of polyamory. Whoo, trigger fest. People don't like to talk about this one. People don't want to hear about it. People don't want to think about it. But and honestly, neither did I. It was never something that I ever thought that I would want. I've got a Scorpio stellium. Yeah, it doesn't come easy to Scorpio. But Scorpio is attached to my South Node, and it has a lot to do with the karma that, of course, I've navigated in my life. There was a betrayal and infidelity in my family home very early on in life. That was very traumatic for everybody involved. Then that pattern repeated in my life through various ways. There's always been, like many Venus and Scorpio people, an underlying theme of abandonment and betrayal that my soul is working through in this life. My North Node is in Aries. The ruler of my North Node is Mars in Pisces in the 11th house. And polyamory, coming back to truth, is an experience that I've had a few brushes with in my life, and is the thing that makes the most sense for me at this time of my life. May change. The reason is not because I want to have many partners, or seek that, or even want partners that want that. That's not the point. The reason that I've been attracted to polyamorous situations comes down to more simply honoring the truth of what is happening. In other words, I did not set out to be polyamorous, and neither did anybody that I've been with thus far. What happened and there's been a few different times that it has happened in different ways, is that there were circumstances that lined up in a certain way where the truth, not what we wanted it to be, but the truth was that there were other players coming into our reality where there was an undeniable soul connection that was wanting to be explored. And rather than terminate the relationship because the relationship mattered to us, we decided to allow one another to explore the truth of the nature of those connections. Did our egos battle that? Yes. Was it terrifying? Yes. Did it go well? Not entirely at the time. That I'm referring to, like, one specific time. There are times and experiences where it has gone well. It's a very difficult space to navigate. But again, coming back to truth, and my search for truth at all times is that I don't want anybody to have to lie to me to be in my life. I don't want to be in a situation where somebody is with me because they made a promise. I want someone to be who they are authentically. And if they're with me, I want them to have an unconditional space to share all of their desires with me, no matter what they are. And then I get to make the choice whether or not I want to be a part of that or not. It's been very healing for me and my past and my experiences with betrayal. And I've been on both sides. I have cheated and I have been cheated on. They both suck really bad in different ways. They are some of the most damaging and traumatizing things that you can go through. So, to be in a space where radical vulnerability and transparency and honesty is being mastered through extremely difficult conversations and subject matter has been healing for me. Do I think it's for everybody? Absolutely fucking not. Would I ever recommend it? No. That said, I think it's very interesting that infidelity is extremely common. It's one of the most common things that happen. Attractions for other people are normal. Do we need to act on all of them? No. Do I act on all of them? No. In fact, I have not been with anybody sexually in like 2 years and counting now, literally, because I'm fucking that selective at this point. But that's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. And everybody thinks that. Everybody thinks polyamory is about sex and like da 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 da. And like, trust me, like I've had a lot of sexual experiences in my life. They've been great. It's been awesome. But like at this point, it has been more about emotional connection, and polyamory is not about just getting some. A lot of people have this idea that polyamory is just so you can fuck a bunch of people. No. I'm sure that there are people that utilize it for that purpose. That's not what it's about. Polyamory is about exploring the fact that it is quite possible to have extremely deep feelings of love for more than one person at a time. And I think that the reason we are wired that way is probably because we have multiple children at once. What would we do if we had 2 children, but we loved one more than the other? In the wild, one of those kids would die. So we have been hardwired, and this is just taking it from like a purely biological, scientific standpoint, to be able to love 2 things equally at the same time. Sorry, it's true. And it's happened. It's happened to me, and it's happened, and it's very tricky to move against the programming that means someone doesn't love you just because they are attracted to someone else. That's not what it means. It's literally not. Sometimes it comes with the realization that the love has faded, but honestly, and this is why cheating exists, more often the person is caught between 2 things that they love and they don't know what to do and they don't know how to be honest. So they start cheating and sneaking around. And our society doesn't make it very welcoming to tell the truth because you are looked at as a piece of shit if you have eyes for anybody other than your partner. It's not looked at favorably. So there's not really a very good terrain set up to be transparent in situations like that. Thus, cheating happens all the time. So for me, I personally would not go into a relationship like, let's be polyamorous. Let's just stay open and see what happens. That's not how it would be. And that's not how it's been. It would be more like this. Hey, this is obviously a journey that we're going on. The journey is long. Life is long. There's some crazy shit out there. I want to be your ally. I want to be on this journey with you as long as possible. I want you to be able to tell me what's going on with you. And I want to be able to hold unconditional loving space for you. That goes for anything, not just attractions to other people. It's like, I need you to tell me what's going on. You know, I'm having this like hypothetical question or conversation with a partner. If you are attracted to someone, I want to know about it. I'm your friend. You can tell me. It's not a bad thing to have an attraction for somebody. Like, why do we make it this like evil thing? It's like, I want to know. And I also want to be able to tell my partner if that happens for me, because it probably will, because I love humans and I'm out in the world, I'm traveling around, I'm going to meet fucking cool people. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to happen. Like, hopefully, like, you know, and then we go from there. It's not like, you know, it's like, then you can come to your person and be like, hey, like I met this person and they're really special, and and I'm feeling these things, and I don't know what it means, and I just wanted to tell you about it. And if somebody meets somebody that they jive with more than me, then like I, and this also comes with, you would need to do this with someone who has good impulse control and isn't just like needing to go fuck everything that they find interesting, because that's not what we're talking about. You know what I mean? So anyway, coming back, looping it back around, this is like a fucking can of worms. I would never. I'm here for truth. I'm here for the truth. Always, 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 always. And that's what keeps me going in life. Yeah, we talked about astrology already. I don't even, yeah, we did. The whole first part of this live is actually astrology. I hear you. I hear you about marriage being a religious construct. That said, because it is, but that said, I do think that there is a lot of weight around a sacred ritual involving talismans or rings and some kind of promise. Um, the way that it's done and the way that it's seen as like you are now property of one another is totally fucking bizarre. And I don't agree with that, but I take monogamy very seriously as well. I take marriage seriously. I think that if you have made that contractual agreement, especially in in a space where it's truly aligned, like I think that people that get involved in other people's marriages are really or relationships for that matter. But I think that is I can say I've never done that, and actually that's not true. That's not true. I did it once. I was very young and I was very fucking stupid. And I was like 20, and I had been drinking, and it was a one-time thing. And to be honest, it wasn't premeditated. It was like a party situation, and then sort of realized the next day that this person had a partner, and it was awful, and I felt terrible. And I take that kind of stuff really seriously. It's like you are invited into a dynamic, or there's a boundary and you better fucking not cross it, because I put it in the same category as like theft or lying or whatever. It's not in integrity. And I shared this on my Instagram live too. It's just like one of the only things that I find it hard to stay neutral about when I'm holding space for someone to share. I do, because it's just a shadow like everything else, and everybody has their reasons for things that they do. But it's just one of the ones that really fucking triggers me. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? Because I just think it's just no, no. Yeah, Conan. We're getting deep right now. I can't sleep either, Cynthia. I'm fucking wired. That's why I'm live right now, talking about fucking Leonardo DiCaprio and polyamory. poor, poor Theodora's like, can we talk about astrology? I'm sick of talking about astrology for tonight. I can't. I actually have a rule that I'm not allowed to talk. And I'm sorry. I know I'm itching a lot. I'm having a reaction to the fucking tea. I have more histamine response at night, so like I know it's probably gross. I'm like just scratching. Just I'm gonna try to stop, but it's hard. Um. Yeah. Cynthia, the energy is so intense. I know, isn't this fun? We're like a little like secret group, like we're like little stowaways on this like weird ship, like floating through the night, like the weirdest night of all time. It's just like so weird out there. I really wish I could share my screen, then we could do more astrology, but I'm just like sick of talking. Just Okay, I'm gonna try it one more time. I'm gonna try it one more fucking time. Last time I tried this, shit got crazy, but I'm gonna try it. Share screen. Chrome tab? No. Window. It's not gonna work. Share. God damn it. It happened again. What the fuck is this? Like, what is this? Like, oh my God, this is crazy. Whoa. Whoa, look at the chat box moving. This is so wild. Oh my God. Okay. All right, that's quite enough. Um All right, stop sharing. Let's stop that. Oh my God. I should have went to sleep 2 hours ago, saw the title of the live. Can't hurt to hear a bit about Venus. 2.5 hours later, DiCaprio and infinite screen sharing and polyamory. Dude, right? Uh oh my God. Um Yeah, Live 140. Conan, I don't know. I always struggle with sleep, honestly. Like, it's a fucking problem. Like, it's never come easy to me. Even as a kid, I was all weird about sleep as a kid. Like, I don't know. If you sleep well out there, y'all, just be grateful because some of us, it just doesn't come easy for. Yeah, I wake up a lot, toss and turn a lot. Sucks. They actually wanna do, like, a second jaw surgery on me, but the second one is, like, fucking crazy. First of all, it's, like, 40K, which I don't have. And it's gonna be, like, yeah, they wanna open up my airways more because I still have sleep apnea, but, like, it's whatever. I do have the chart on my screen, but I can't show it to you because um, whatever, it won't work. Oh, ionizing air purifier? No, I don't really struggle with meditation. If I actually sit down and do it, I get right in the pocket, but it's more about getting myself to sit down and actually do it. To be honest, I haven't been very good at that recently. I need to I need to do that. Hmm. I like castor oil. I use castor oil on my face every night, actually. Not every night, like most nights. As like a facial moisturizer. It's really thick, but I like it. I do use sleep tape. What's one of the coolest charts you've ever read and what made it unique? They're all cool. It's hard to say. I think, to be honest, I think I probably gravitate towards placements that are similar to mine, not because I think mine are superior, but because I know them and I understand them on a level that is deeper than others. So, like, charts with, like, a lot of Scorpio and stuff, like, I really enjoy diving into because 'cause I'm just like, "Ha, like, I see you, dude, like, I know, and I just it's easy." Whereas I have a little bit more difficulty with, like, Leo placements and Aquarius placements because I don't have those in my chart, so I only understand them through what I've studied, not personal journey. So the most helpful tips about sleep that I've found is actually around just not caring anymore if you sleep or not. Because sleep issues are often tied to anxiety, and anxiety is that you're trying to control the process of sleep, and sleep is about surrender. So, the best um, cure for insomnia that myself personally I've had is that I just gave up. Like, I was just like, okay, I guess I just fucking won't sleep anymore. Like, and then I like started sleeping. It's really like there's some great YouTube channels on that and the power of that. What do you consider the most challenging relationship between two planets in your chart? In my chart or in general? Because in my chart, Neptune square my moon, without a doubt. Neptune square the moon is low key kind of a terrible placement, and I have it. What's the least common sign in your circle of friends? Gemini. Gemini. Or Aries. I don't have a lot of Aries friends, probably because I'm two Aries and we're just doing our own thing, so we never see each other. Melatonin doesn't work for me. Trust me, I've tried it all. I've tried melatonin, I've tried passion flower, I've tried lavender, I've tried skullcap, I've tried valerian, I've tried GABA, I've tried CBD gummies. I've tried for me it's mental. It's mental for sure.